The date that this video is posted proves that these predictions are being made ahead of time, as do these time-stamped emails and forensic notes PDF documents. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. Now back to what I was saying. On December 24th, Pope Francis was exactly 88 years and 8 days old, which overlaps this Parker Probe 888 stuff. On December 24th, Francis enacted a ritual involving opening 5 portal doors in Rome. If you haven't heard about this yet, the doors are in different locations in Rome, and when you connect the dots, it becomes a sort of type of pentagram that is a classic Satanist symbol. The symbol of the Vatican is keys, right? That is the symbol of the Vatican, keys. And in Revelation chapter 9, the portal to the bottomless pit is opened with a key. That's not an accident. That's because Catholicism isn't Christianity, and the Antichrist was always going to be a pope. That's very clear, from overwhelmingly clear in Bible prophecy, including Old Testament prophecy, and it is actually shameful that Protestants have lost this knowledge. There wouldn't have been a Reformation without this knowledge that the Pope is the Antichrist, or a Pope would be. But, sorry, conservative Catholics, Pope Francis isn't a particularly bad Pope. Pope John Paul was also blasphemous, and all popes throughout all of history have been, and they have all been lowercase a antichrists. I'm not, enough with the political correctness. I don't hate Catholics. I'm trying to help Catholics. I'm not saying also that Catholics won't be saved, but if they will be, it will be in spite of their Catholicism, not because of it. Mystery Babylon is Rome, and the reason why it's Babylon as a metaphor is because that symbolizes pagan religion. And that's what Catholicism is. It's pagan religion mixed with Christianity. And God hates that. The thing that God hated the most in the Bible with the Jews was their mixing their true religion with the pagan religion of their neighbors. They were constantly chastised by God about it and then ultimately exiled. The thing that God hates the most is false religion. That's what, and anyway, so I'm not going to make this a lecture about Catholicism. But anyway, the office of the Pope is apostate and a blasphemy. All right, so anyway, conservative Catholics, it's time to listen to your Protestant friends and stop it. Please stop. Leave it. As the prophecy says, come out of her, my people. Mystery Babylon, right? That's the reason why, by the way, the Pope is the Antichrist. It's a final test for supposed quote-unquote Christians that are in Catholicism to make a decision. Stick with the Pope, continue this paganism, or finally leave it. But it's like time to make a decision. And so for my conservative Catholic friends, and I do consider you friends and allies, it's time to stop. Okay? It's time to leave the Catholic Church. It isn't the Bible. And no, popes are not descended from Peter. Peter referred to Rome as Babylon, and he never talked about Babylon. He never talked about it being in Rome. All right? And also, Paul wrote many letters to the Romans and addressed people in Rome, but never once did he address Peter. All right? There's so many reasons why this is flawed. I'll just give you another one. Matthew 16:19 or 18. This verse is the verse that Catholics use to claim that they have the authority to make up this man-made religion on top of the Bible. Because obviously, you have to be truly ignorant to not know that Catholicism isn't in the Bible, but they claim to have the authority to have all of this. And by the way, many Catholics are that ignorant. They really do not know much because, they don't read the Bible, for one thing, most Catholics. But anyway, the Catholics claim to have the authority based on this one verse, which if disproven, disproves the entire Catholic religion, case closed. So they claim that Peter, who they claim popes are descendant of, has the authority to make up new religion on top of the Bible, popes, because they claim that Jesus said to Peter that he would build his church on him. Peter asked the disciples, who do they think he is? And Peter responded was the first to say out loud that Jesus is the Christ. And then Jesus said to Simon, whose name had not been changed yet to Peter, he said, Simon, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. Now, the word Peter, Petros in Greek, means rock, or a stone or a pebble. The next verse, or the next line, which Jesus said he would build his church on this rock, is Petra, which is the feminine version of the word, Petros being the masculine. So there are two different words. Petra means bedrock, which is what you build a foundation on. You build a structure or a building on bedrock, not a stone or a rock, like Petros. Why in the world would Jesus say he was building his church on a man anyway? That's blasphemy. He's building his church on the bedrock truth that Peter had just stated. All right? And the whole stuff about the keys coming later, well, there's another verse later in the Bible that's not referring to what Peter had said or anything to do with Peter about having the keys to the kingdom. It doesn't mean that popes have the key to the kingdom. That's not what Jesus was saying. Okay, so anyway, that disproves the entire Catholic religion. The Catholics will never listen to that because, well, anyway. So I needed to go into that a little bit because there's a theme going on here with the signs on December 24th. This is huge because of this key symbolism, okay? Again, Jesus did not say that he was giving the keys to the kingdom to Peter and that he had the authority to decide who would go to heaven and who wouldn't. This is a metaphor that Jesus used to say to the disciples, look, you're going to be asked to spread the gospel, but you have the ability to, leave the town behind in dust, if you will. You have the keys. You have the ability now to give the kingdom to people with this knowledge of this rock of truth that he is the Christ. And if you so desire, you can withhold the key as well from people. Anyway, it's just a metaphor. And the key, once you open the kingdom, it's opened, right? So the gospel started with the disciples. They're not around anymore, and we are continuing the process of opening the key. But the kingdom's already been opened to everyone who will listen, okay? But the point is, too, the whole point is that Petra means bedrock. It doesn't mean Peter, okay? Popes are, furthermore, not descendant from Peter. And at one point, there were 4 popes. So if we're going to follow this absurd logic, then we would have to conclude that the lineage, which one? Because there was 4 popes at one point in history. Anyway, it's all nonsense. The Catholic religion is nonsense. It's not just nonsense. It's actually wicked deception from Satan for many reasons. This worship of Mary, for example, distracts from the true from God, from Jesus. Jesus is a side note. In all of the medieval art, he is a baby in the arms of Mary. He's like, and it's now it's pagan religion I'm getting into, because whatever you want to call it, it's worship of Mary, and it's descended from the worship of the fertility goddess, like Ishtar, Aphrodite, Isis. It's all Babylonian religion. So anyway, what we have here, though, is, in terms of Bible prophecy, a key opening the bottomless pit. And the Antichrist, the Pope of Catholicism, has the key. Because that's why the Vatican is symbolized by keys. Satan has taken what Jesus said and twisted it to his own device. Which is why now we have this sign at the very end here, the beginning of the Antichrist kingdom, of the Pope opening the portal, the doors, to the bottomless pit from which the fallen angels will come through. Which, by the way, will be demons pretending to be aliens. And at one point, I believe the Pope will tell the world that aliens have made him the ambassador for the world, thus giving him power over and authority over the nations instantly. Okay, so again, on December 24th, Pope Francis, who was at the time exactly 88 years and 8 days old, opened the portals in Rome, which made a satanic symbol. And this is symbolism for the portal of the bottomless pit being opened with a key. This is symbolized with Revelation 9:11. Revelation 9:11 is the verse that symbolizes all of this. And Francis opened the portals on December 24th, 11 years, 9 months, and 11 days after Francis was elected Pope. That's okay, so that's amazing. There's more proof for you, right? Francis opened the portals. By the way, speaking of portals being opened and the collapse of barriers of security, Pope Francis, the Antichrist, is identified as being the Pope in Revelation 17 in the 5th through 8th King's prophecy. And that's why Pope Francis was elected Pope exactly 85 years after the St. Francis Dam collapsed in Los Angeles, as in Fallen Angels, which is where Kamala Harris's flight will depart from, incidentally. Now, Francis opened the portals on December 24th, which was Kislev 24 in the Hebrew calendar. It was exactly 15 years after Kislev 24 when Barack Obama received his Nobel Peace Prize in Sweden after a giant mysterious spiral portal was observed over Norway the night prior. Okay, so we've got portal to portal connection here with 15 years. And 15 years is exactly 60 plus 60 plus 60 months, which hints at the number of the Antichrist in Bible prophecy, 666. In other words, Barack Obama is the second of the two Antichrists. Francis opened the portals in Rome 11 months and 19 days after the date 1-5, which hints at 15, which is a second witness confirmation to this 15 years connection, when Alaska, as in the 49th state, which hints at the 49th vice president, and the 49th prime number is 22/7, which is 3.14 symbolism, and she's predicted to die in the area code 314. Okay, so again, Francis opened the portal 15 years after, or 60 plus 60 plus 60 months after the portal in Norway when Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing, and he even said so, and he was ashamed of it, or embarrassed. He said so, and rightly, he should have been embarrassed. And then also, Francis opened the portals 11 months and 19 days after the date 1-5, when Alaska Airlines, which is an anagram for aliens, dropped its door, as in symbolism for a portal, onto Portland, in a residential neighborhood in Portland. Believe me, I know far better than you how the prediction made in this video was derived. And more importantly, I know far better than you why the righteous Christian God of the Bible has given me a voice through this prediction. If you are a quote-unquote Christian or Muslim, this prediction was not learned through a demon. Be warned that blaspheming the Holy Spirit is the unforgivable sin. If you are a New Ager or New Spirituality person, this prediction was not learned through somehow tapping into the supposed universal collective consciousness. If you are a conspiracy theorist, this prediction was not learned through figuring out a supposed code that the Illuminati and Satanists are using. This prediction was learned through the Bible and through watching carefully the Lord's prophetic signs, which Jesus commanded all Christians to do. Besides proving that Jesus Christ is the Lord, the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction is to prove that the controversial things that I am saying in the videos on this channel are the truth. Therefore, a wise person will want to watch all of the videos on this channel. What I will also do is create a video or two that summarizes some of the controversial things that the Lord will prove to be true when the prediction being made in this video comes to pass. I will leave links to these must-watch videos in the description box below this video. Again, the purpose of this prediction, that is from God, is to prove these things that I will talk about. And therefore, it would be foolish to not watch the videos that I will leave links for in the description box below this video. Aliens and UFOs are demons masquerading as aliens and UFOs. Most people's spiritual experiences are demonic deception, especially if they are not a true follower of Christ. In the last days, many people who claim to be a follower of Christ will have spiritual experiences that are in reality demonic. God became a man and died a horrible death at the hand of the ruler of this world, Satan, and then defeated death for you, so that you too can overcome death, which is the price that must be paid for sin. It is time to repent, which means to change one's ways and turn to God and become a disciple of Jesus. Please leave a like and upvote the video, and once this prediction has come to pass, share this video with everyone you know, and more, don't stop sharing it everywhere in social media. It is essential that everyone immediately read the homepage of my website, TrumpPrediction.com. If you are watching this on the YouTube platform, please note that not all of the videos are on YouTube. You need to switch to the Odyssey.com or Rumble.com channel, and do it now in case you aren't able to later.